Are you a photographer who has tried running Facebook ads and been frustrated with the results? My name is Barb Davids, and I'm with Compass Digital Strategies. I help photographers who are struggling to grow their business to the next phase so that they have more money and freedom. And today I'm with Easton Reynolds, the founder of The Art of Six Figures, and he's going to share with us the top 8 mistakes that photographers make when running Facebook ads. He's going to share some tips for us to help improve ad campaigns and achieve better results. So thanks for joining me today, Easton.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, this will be good. Why don't we just start with a little bit of background? You can give everyone your introduction, how you got started, and the little short story.
Sure, yeah. So I've been a photographer, wedding photographer primarily for about 13, 14 years now. And just like many of you, I was out there, grinding, trying to find clients. And I was like, there's got to be an easier way. And so I actually started testing out Facebook ads with the education space when I was releasing courses for lighting and things like that. And I had no idea what I was doing. I actually launched an ad for a beginner's lighting course with no funnel, no email sequences, no nothing. I had no idea what I was doing. I put the ad up and I actually forgot about it. 3 months later, my accountant called me and he goes, so I have good and bad news. And I'm like, I hate these calls. He goes, you spent $4,500 in the last 3 months on Facebook ads. And I was like, I did? Oh no, I forgot about that ad. Like crap. He's like, but the good news is you made $26,000 from those ads. And I went, wait a second. If I could spend $4,500 a day and make $26,000, I'd do that all day long, right?
Right.
So at that point I was like, okay, I got to dive in and like learn more about this. So I spent the next like 2.5, 3 years just learning from everybody that I could outside of the photography industry. I found that the photography industry, when you want to get marketing help, there's not a lot of really solid information. It's a lot of people saying, I did this and it worked for me, so it should work for you, hopefully, and pay me $500 for it.
Right.
It's just ridiculous. And so I quickly realized that the industry didn't have much to offer. I went outside the industry and I paid some coaches, like one of them was $36,000. One of them was $24,000. And I just started diving in to learn the infrastructure of what we call direct response marketing. That's essentially what using paid ads is. We're asking for the direct response from the client or from the potential client, right? And so I took all that information and knowledge and I actually built a system. I filmed another course called Reception Lighting 101. And I launched that on Facebook ads. And I think we spent $15,000 in ad spend and made $100,000 in 6 months. And I was like, all right, so if this works for selling courses, it's got to also work for selling services and photography. And I was like, this will be an easy transition. Well, that was really wrong. It's very different from selling courses online to selling a service and getting somebody to trust you enough to come into your studio and have that entire experience with you. So then it took me another 3 years to actually solidify that system. And now that's primarily what I do is teach Facebook ads. I have a course that I sell on how to utilize Facebook ads for photographers. And then if you're a boudoir photographer, I have a one-on-one 8-week program that most people average $70,000 to $80,000 of revenue gained when they go through.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a great story.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's also funny that just how that came up with your accountant and interesting. At least it was on the good side. That's really great.
It could have been a really bad story.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did have to spend about, $21,000 of testing ads to get to the point where I finally figured it out. So, there was a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money spent to try to get to the point where, it's just like anything else, right? Like if you want to be good at something, you got to invest your time and your energy and your money.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, let's take some of that knowledge and share it with the photographers that we have with us. Let's see here. We will share your screen now. You can just jump right in. There you go.
Awesome. Well, first of all, for those of you that are watching right now, I just want to know, have you ever used Facebook ads before? And if you have, has it been successful or did you feel like you wasted money? So let me know in the comments and we'll keep an eye on those as we get started here. So many people try Facebook ads one time and it doesn't work and they give up. And it doesn't make any sense to me, right? And so I see it all the time in Facebook groups. People are like, how are you finding new clients? And someone will be like, I do this, I do this. And then another person will be like, have you tried Facebook ads? And then someone will chime in, no, I tried them once and they didn't work. I'm like, wait, did you try to take a picture with your camera the first time and it didn't work and you gave up? No. So why are you doing that with the business side of things, right? And what I found is that as photographers, we're creative first. We want, in the ideal world, for us to make a website and then for people to just contact us nonstop, right? But that's not how it works, because a website doesn't guarantee that you're then seen by people. And the biggest problem that we have in our marketing is that if no one knows that you exist, it's really hard to book clients, right? So you could be the best photographer in the world, but if no one knows you exist, you're not making any money. You're not having any clients, right?
Yeah.
And so what I've realized is that we will spend all of our time and effort and money on buying lighting courses and presets. But when it comes to the business side of things, we're like, nah, or we'll buy it and then we'll never log in, right? One out of every 15 people that buys my courses doesn't even log in. I've even had at least 6 or 7 people pay me for my one-on-one program, which is $4,500 to $5,500, and not ever start the program.
Wow.
So it tells me a lot about the photography industry and what we're truly focused on. We want to create beautiful art, right? And that's our number one objective. But we actually have to work 10 times harder at the business side of things, because that's the part that doesn't come naturally to us, right? And so with Facebook ads, is it complicated and annoying and frustrating at times? Absolutely, just like anything else, right? When you're trying to learn lighting and you're like taking the picture and it's all blown out and you're like, what the heck did I do wrong, right? Or it's completely dark and you're like, what the heck? I thought I'd followed the settings, right? But you kept pushing through. And that's the same thing that I would encourage you guys to do when it comes to anything on the business side, whether it's your pricing or your branding or your marketing or whatever, running a Facebook group or any of that kind of stuff. You got to put in 10 times more energy to get the type of results that you need, because we're not gifted at that naturally as photographers, most of us, right? There are a few of us that can stand out, and you don't hear from those people, right? All the people that are posting in Facebook groups typically aren't making money. It's the ones that aren't posting in Facebook groups that are just so busy, right? They don't have time to vent in Facebook groups. And so that should tell you something too. So let's jump in here, the 8 mistakes that photographers make when using Facebook ads. So the first thing is that when you sign up for Facebook, just in general, as a normal user, you actually are given a personal Facebook ads account. If you use that personal Facebook ads account to run ads for your business, you will get it shut down, or you will get it banned, or you will just get very like small results that don't really make much sense to continue to do. So what Facebook wants you to do is to use your business account and create an actual business account through them. In order to do that, you just go to business.facebook.com. You want to make sure that you're already logged into your personal Facebook account when you do that, and then it will have you create a business account. With the business account, you have way more targeting options, and the ability to track metrics is much better. It's also much better than boosting a post. We call that the blue shiny button. You're just basically giving Zuckerberg money for his new $80 t-shirts if you do that. Okay. So when I bring on clients, I would say 5% of them are using their personal Facebook ads account and they didn't even know it. So it's not something that's very clear. So go to business.facebook.com and make sure that you, in fact, are running ads through a business account as opposed to your personal account. All right. How many of you guys have heard of the Facebook Pixel or have installed and are currently using the Pixel? I want to know, so let me know in the chat or in the comments. Okay. The Facebook Pixel is one of the key pieces that tracks users' interaction on a multitude of different things. It can track views on your website. It can track videos and how much percentage people have watched on them. It can track if somebody saw a page but didn't see another page. Tons of different things you can do, but this is how the Pixel needs to be installed on whatever pages you are sending people to from the Facebook ad, so that it can report back to Facebook the metrics. and if people are seeing the landing page and all of that. Without using a pixel, there's no way to track it. And so your ads are going to either not let you run them, or they'll let you run them. There's a couple options where you can run ads without a pixel, but then you have no way of actually seeing how well it's doing other than checking and seeing if you actually got leads from it. And then you're going to have to calculate on your own. All right, well, I spent $600 and I got 50 leads. So let's divide that into each other to see how much it's costing me for leads. All right. So using the Facebook pixel, Facebook remembers all of the interaction that people have done, whether it's visiting your Facebook business page, interacting on Instagram, all those different things. And so this allows you to actually retarget people that have visited certain pages. So let's say, for instance, you're running an ad and someone clicks on the ad and they go to the page, and then maybe they get a phone call, so they get distracted and they leave the page. Well, maybe they meant to actually do whatever it was on that page, sign up for something or opt in for something, but they got distracted. Because you have the Facebook pixel installed, you can now create what's called a custom audience from the traffic that has seen that specific page. And so you go, hey, Facebook, anybody that has seen this page but didn't see this page over here, I want you to send them this new ad. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the real power of Facebook it comes from the pixel, because it's tracking everything that everybody does. And I know there's a lot of, there's probably people are split 50-50 on, I don't like being tracked. And then other people are like, well, I don't really care. These are not like human beings looking at your data. It's AI processing everything and algorithms processing everything. And so some of you may have encountered this, where you're sitting with a bunch of your friends and you're talking about a specific product, right? Or maybe one of you mentions that your refrigerator broke and you need a new refrigerator. And then the next time you go on Facebook, you open it up and there's an ad for a refrigerator, right? And so, by the way, that's 100% happening, right? Let's acknowledge that. And to me, it's really cool. If you just, I don't know, I need a new refrigerator, and maybe I've looked up some options and they're all really expensive, and then I get a Facebook ad for a deep discount. It's like, well, perfect. Mm-hmm. This works out great for me. Like, you keep using my data. And we'll eventually get to the place where we're walking around the streets and all the different billboards are going to, change specifically as we walk by for us and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. That's going to be the creepy phase. But for right now, I enjoy it. I know people are like, I hate it that people know my information, but to me, it's a key part in business. Every single time that you guys have ever maybe like gone to a website and looked at something and then left, and then all of a sudden you get an email that says, hey, we noticed you were doing this, but then you didn't do it, and so here's 25% off if you want to grab this thing. Mm-hmm. That's because they have the pixel tracking it, and they can trigger different things based on that. And so that's where the real power comes from, Facebook pixel. That all make sense?
Yeah, we have a comment, Brett Gilmore, who said he installed it, but he has no idea if it's working.
So you want to install a Chrome browser extension called the Facebook Pixel Helper. What that does is once you've installed the pixel and you've activated the Chrome extension, then when you go and visit the page that you believe you've installed the pixel on, there will be a little icon that shows if the pixel is active or not inside of the extension.
Great.
Cool. All right. So what do we do now? How does this all work, right? We want to run something, an ad, and I see this happening so often where people are like, all right, I'm going to do an ad. All right, what are you going to do? They're going to boost a post because they've already made the post and they just want more people to see it. Or they're going to send traffic directly to the homepage of their website, which if your favorite hobby is wasting money, then keep doing that. But we always want to use a landing page that is very specifically designed for the offer, and it doesn't have our menu or portfolio or about us sections or any of that kind of stuff. There's basically no links on the page except for the button that we want them to click and take action on. And so what you're looking at here in this little chart is the flow that we normally use whenever we're thinking about running an ad. This is the foundation of it all, okay? So on the left, you can see that it starts with a Facebook ad. When they click on that ad, they're going to go over to the landing page. Okay. That landing page, like we've talked about, is going to be very specifically designed for the offer. And that's it. There's one button on the page. There's no extra menu stuff or any of that kind of stuff. And there's a call to action on that page. And we want them to do something or give us an email in exchange for a freebie download, like maybe it's a wedding planning guide or something along those lines. And so on that landing page, there's an opt-in, and we're going to capture their email or phone number or both. Okay. If they opt in and they give us that information, then they're going to be redirected over to a thank you page that either gives them the next steps or delivers whatever it is that they opted in for. But it will also trigger an email sequence. So now that we've got their email and we got their phone number, you can also do text marketing if you have a platform that services that as well. But they see the ad, they go to the landing page, they opt in. If they opt in, they'll get a thank you page, which then also triggers the email sequence so we can continue to nurture that client. If they don't opt in, because they visited that page and the Facebook pixel fired, we can now retarget them. And so if they've said no to that opt-in, we can then send them another ad and then send them back to that landing page to try to get them to complete the process. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So that's kind of the general flow. Whenever I'm thinking about, okay, I'm going to launch an ad, I'm not doing anything other than creating a landing page, creating an email sequence, figuring out what the opt-in offer is, and then making sure that I can gather email and phone number. If you run an ad where it's a direct offer to a sale, like $99 session fee, and they have to click on that button and then pay immediately, those ads are really hard to work because you're serving that to what's called cold traffic, people that have never heard of you before, and you're asking them to give you money. It's like going on a first date with somebody and asking them to marry you, right? We wouldn't do that. And so you need to keep in mind that marketing is relational. So if I was having a conversation with somebody face to face, that's kind of how I still need my marketing to be. And a lot of times we get detached from that and we kind of try to overthink it and come up with this, master plan of copy and ads and combination of all that. And really it just needs to be relatable and have some type of humor in it or something like that. And it needs to call out a problem that your current client has. So we talk about problem and solution marketing a lot with what we teach, and problem and solution marketing is essentially, okay, so what would the problem be for a family for a family that's thinking about doing a family session? What would hold that person back from doing one? Well, I got a list, right? Maybe she's worried about the location, or I don't know where to do it, right? Or I don't know how to do my hair and makeup. Or what if my kid falls out of the car and ruins his khakis immediately, right? My kid is crazy and has ADHD. So how are you, the photographer, going to be able to manage that, right? And so your ad should sort of draw out those problems and hesitations and fears and say, hey, if these are the things that you're dealing with, we've got the solution, right? And so you're showing them the solution. It's just like almost every single marketing campaign, especially like pharmaceuticals, right? It's like, do you fart too much? Right? Like, here's this medication. It's the solution, right? Yeah. So problem and solution marketing is kind of how we model everything. All right. So I want to know in the comments, how many of you guys have boosted a post by just clicking the blue shiny button? And if you have, I want you to stop. Okay. Boosting a post, you don't have anywhere near the amount of targeting options or metrics or ability to like really dial in the ad to the point where you need it to be. And so you're essentially wasting money. We call it the donate to Mark Zuckerberg's new t-shirt fund button. But stop doing that. You want to go actually in through your ads manager and create an ad from scratch. And you can still boost a post doing that. So you can make a post on your business page and then you can go in and create an engagement objective ad campaign, which will then allow you to select the post that you already made, and then you can boost it with all of the actual targeting options that you should have. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay. So don't boost a post. Don't click that blue shiny button. Instead, learn the right way to go through your ads manager, and you're going to see a lot better results that way. All right. We talked about this a little bit already. Trying to get married on the first date. So many photographers go, all right, I like to call this panic marketing. They go, well, shit, I need to make money right now. I didn't do anything to plan at all. And now I don't have any bookings and I need bookings now. So what am I going to do? A model call, right? They're just going to throw something at the wind and hope it works. That's probably the worst way to market. Panic marketing is just hoping and praying that it's going to work rather than actually having a system that you can follow that you know works. And so many photographers will set up an ad for like 10% off a shoot or something along those lines. But that's a really hard sell because these people don't trust you first. And so this is where some of the pixel comes in, where this ad that you can see here is one that we ran for a free wedding planning guide. It got a ton of inquiries. It got tons of link clicks and comments and all that kind of stuff. But it was an easier click for someone that has never heard of us. And then after they click it, they get to download our free wedding planning guide. And then there's an entire email sequence that goes out to them. And then there's sprinkled in there, there's like, hey, you know, do you want to jump on a phone call with us? We can answer any questions you may have. And then that leads to inquiries, right? So it's much better to take an approach where there's multiple touches before asking for money. Then if you ask for money on the first ad, you're probably going to fail. And there's a lot of other factors that go into that, how often you're running ads, how much you've spent on ads, how big your network is. If you have a Facebook group, how many of those people are interacting with you and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, give some upfront value first and then ask for the sale. Gary Vee teaches this in his Jab, Jab, Hook book, where he's like, you jab, and then you hook for the finish and the knockout, right? And that's kind of what we're talking about here is don't try to get married on that first date. Come up with some things that could be problem and solution oriented. Obviously, if they're planning a wedding, they probably haven't planned a wedding before. And so they don't know that the getting ready room should have a window in it, at least, so that you have some nice window light to use for that type of thing. Or maybe they need a wedding planning guide, right? I can't tell you how many weddings I've shot where somebody needs a sewing kit, or someone needs a Tide to Go pen, or someone needs a Red Bull, or something like that. Or maybe they didn't bring the clear umbrellas, or they got the wrong type of umbrellas, or heel stoppers for the women so they don't sink into the grass and ruin their shoes. And these are all things that a lot of people don't think of. And so if you can be that person that is what we call the thought leader, right? You're helping them in their decision-making process by going, hey, did you remember this? How about this? How about this? It positions you as the expert so that they're starting to trust you. So if we give them this wedding planning guide and they go through it and they learn something, they got value from it, they're going to go, wow, this person knows what they're talking about. They're probably a good photographer if they know to think about all these things that I didn't think of. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. All right. Let's go to the next ones here. So again, only running one ad. Please don't do this. You don't do it with your photography. You don't do it when you're trying to get better at lighting. So don't do it when it comes to paid marketing. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who are like, yeah, I tried one ad and it doesn't work, right? There's a lot of things to consider when running an ad. There's a lot of different elements that can make or break the ad. You've got your headline, your subheadline, your actual copy, the image, the targeting, the landing page that it's going to, and the layout of that landing page. So when your ad doesn't work, it's best to do what's called split testing, or running multiple different ads with multiple different objectives, and then start tweaking things. So if you've never run ads before, don't set up $100 budget to the one landing page you think is going to be your dream team home run. Instead, do $5 budgets to a bunch of different variations. Try different headlines, try different copy, try different pictures until you get one that works. What I like to do is try individual interests in $5 ad sets, and then run them for like 3 days until they get out of the learning phase. And then you'll be able to see which ones are doing better than the others. Whichever ones are not doing good, turn those off. Whichever ones are doing good, take all the interest between those three and now create a new campaign that uses all of those interests in one ad. And we call that a super ad. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So run those multiple ads, small budgets, varying interests, and that's going to help you figure out which interests work well so that you can get to the point where you have your power ads working for you. All right, and then we talked a little bit about this earlier, but do not send people to your website. This is an example of a landing page for a boudoir giveaway. You'll notice at the top of the page, there's no buttons, right? There's only the one button that says, yes, I want this amazing deal. So send people to a dedicated landing page. You can make these in your own website. I know Show It and Squarespace and WordPress all of those, you just create a page, and then you can hide the header and footer on the page, and then make it a hidden page. So it's not like no one can find it from going through your normal navigation of your website. And then lay it out where at the very top, before they have to scroll, what's called before the page break, that they can see exactly what the offer is, and there's a button for them to actually click. Through our statistics of doing this for the last 5 years, we've figured out that 75% of people that visit a site do not scroll down. And those people only stay on the site for 1 to 2 seconds unless they see something that is what they've saw in the ad. And so whatever the ad looks like, it's often a great idea to use that same picture or video on the landing page at the top, so that their brand recognition is the same. They don't go, wait, am I in the right spot? I just clicked this ad and this doesn't look like what I just clicked on. So that can really help brand recognition, and it'll keep them on the page longer so that they can actually click the button and do what it is that you wanted them to do.
Okay. So Easton, we had a question that came up. I don't think it's exactly related to that last one, but it was a question that came up at this moment. How does all of this translate to Google Ads?
So direct response marketing is pretty much the same across all advertising platforms. The way that you set up an ad may look different, right? Because each platform is going to have a different way of creating and setting up ads. But all of the principles are translating over to any other platform. So use all the same principles, but just as far as building your audiences and building your ads, you may need to tweak that a little bit because they're not going to look the same.
Okay. Thanks for your question, Brett.
Yeah. All right. So the other mistake is not using custom audiences. So when you go into Facebook and you go to the audience tab, you'll be able to create audiences from all of these different things that you see on the screen, from website traffic, from a customer list. So if you have like 1,000 emails from people in the past, you can upload them into Facebook and say, hey, Facebook, these are my past clients. And then from that custom audience, you can create what's called a lookalike audience. And then that's Facebook going out and going, okay, so those are your clients. We'll go out and find more people that are just like them, that live in the same location, that work at the same types of places, that make the same type of income, that like the same type of music, etc. So that can be really powerful, importing a customer list. The video percentage of views is really great too. So like, let's say you put up a 2-minute video, and if somebody watches that video for 3 seconds, they're probably not that interested. They were just scrolling through Facebook and happened to stop for a second. But if they watch 75% of that video, they're probably interested and could do, we use that video to warm them up, and then we can serve them another ad. So with these custom audiences, we can say, hey, Facebook, anybody that has watched 75% or more of this video, I want you to show them this new ad. So that's really powerful. You can do it based on Facebook page likes, Facebook comments, all different types of things, even stuff from your Instagram account and live events that you've done. So don't forget about using custom audiences.
That's incredibly targeted.
Yeah. Yep. And then the last thing is using a Facebook group is huge, and it doesn't work just for boudoir photographers. It works for almost every niche. And what it does is, let's say you're paying money for these ads and to get leads. Well, you want a place to deposit them so that you can contact them for free in the future. So what we like to do is we run our ad and we give away whatever the thing is, or download whatever the thing is. And then the thank you page says, hey, join our group. Maybe it's Family Adventures in Boston is the group for family photographer, right? Maybe it's an empowerment group for women for boudoir. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but in this group, you're enabling yourself and them to be able to stay engaged. You can give them upfront value in that group. You can interview your past clients in that group, and they'll be talking about how much of a change it did in their lives, or how much they love the photos. And all the rest of the people in the group are going to be like, oh, all right, well, maybe I'll borrow that person's confidence to then reach out and book a session. So going live, showing the sessions that you're doing, that could be huge. Be vulnerable. Vulnerability is huge. Be that like reality TV star in your group almost, and just share your normal life, and people will become attached to you. So Facebook groups, great way to just deposit everybody and then have a free way to contact them in an interactive way as well.
All right.
All right. So that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, Milton says, hey, Easton.
Milton, I love Milton.
And yes, this replay will be on Easton's channel and my channel.
Very cool.
Did you, there you go. Oh, that was fun. All right. That was some great information. I think that's one of the things that I run into the most as well, is that when they get frustrated because they've only tried one, or it is more the specific sale or specific promotion versus understanding that they haven't been seen yet, and they're not going to just like book off of that one. I think that's probably the one I've run into the most as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, all right, great. Well, that was wonderful information. I don't have any other questions, and I know we've covered all the ones that came through. So let's see, where can someone reach you? What's the best way to reach you, Easton?
Best way is just to send me a message on Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
We do have our website, theartofsixfigures.com. You can contact me there. Okay. But if you need something quickly, or you want to chat or inquire about any of our courses or my one-on-one service for boudoir photographers, just send me a message. That's the best way.
Okay, sounds great. And thanks again for those of you who were watching. And if you're catching it on the replay, go connect with Easton. And I hope that you took some amazing things, takeaways for your Facebook ads. Cheers.